Hey guys, welcome back to 1776 or Bust. So on the table tonight, you see two of my most favorite handguns that I own. Obviously, it's a striker fired gun. I'm going to wind up going with the PPQ, but that's, again, my preference and my bias. But for hammer fired guns that I own, right now I have several, and by far these are two of my favorite. In my opinion, they have great triggers, great ergonomics, and just great fit and finish. And of course, the reliability factor. Both guns to me scream excellence. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are, fans of CZs, fans of Glocks, fans of SIGs. For me, I always say that there's just something about CZs that just scream awesome. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the way they look. Maybe it's the way they feel. Maybe it's how they handle at the range when you're shooting them. But both guns are phenomenal shooters. Both guns are very easy to shoot because of the fact that they have that very low slide height. And your hand can get pretty high in there. Now, of course, the beaver tail does kind of stop that a little bit from rising up so much, but at the same time, you're still going to get a nice purchase on this gun, and in my opinion, that makes it a bonus to shoot it. Now, in regards to some of the things that you see, there are some slight differences between the two handguns. They're not identical, but they're also not that different from each other. The ergos are identical. The curvature in the back, again, is pretty much, well, it's not pretty much, it definitely is the same. You can see it's like basically a mirror image of each gun. Beaver tail length is the same. Hammers are the same. Decocking levers are the same. The only really difference that you find in both of these guns, and they're not a significant difference at all, is going to be that you have the accessory rail on the P01 and you don't on the PCR. Both guns are made of that alloyed frame body. And of course, they have the steel slide. But other than that, this is one of the most insignificant differences in the gun. The other really super insignificant difference of these two guns is going to be your slide locks. On the PCR, it's a little bit shorter. So you do have to extend your thumb out a little bit further and maybe try to change your hand grip slightly to release the slide or even to lock the slide back. However, the P01 is a little bit longer, so it's a little bit easier to get to with your thumb, whereas the PCR is actually a little bit more difficult. Now, again, is this going to really, change my mind that these guns are great? No. I mean, it's like I said, these are two super significant differences, or excuse me, two super insignificant differences of both handguns. Fit and finish is identical. The takedown is identical, so if you've seen the takedown on my P01 video, it is the same process for the PCR. Any CZ75 compact grips that you find on the internet, on any kind of website, will fit these handguns. So, I mean, there's definitely that ability to switch back and forth if you choose to. Other than that, the guns are great. Double action trigger pull, your standard, pretty standard double action. And by the way, the guns are safety checked for anybody out there who wants to see me do it. I'm not doing it, okay? Here are the magazines. The magazines are out. The guns were checked before I made the video. Anyway, getting back to what this video is really about, the triggers, the double action pull is not that bad. It's actually pretty smooth. You can see the trigger pull and the hammer moving very easily. So it is a relatively smooth trigger. Now, of course, over time, it'll hopefully, again, lighten up a little bit. Nothing significant to write home about, but still a little bit less than what it is now. But it's really easy to shoot. Now, in regards to the reset of the P01, it is a pretty short reset. The single action is just nice. It's beautiful, it's clean, it's crisp. Maybe a little bit of creep in the trigger, but not much. Nothing, again, to complain about. The PCR, same thing. I will tell you that I just think this trigger is a little bit smoother in the double action than the P01, but that could just be me. At least that's the way it feels. It's probably the same weight. It just feels like this one's a little bit smoother in the action. In regards to the single action, again, identical to the P01. Nothing has changed. And then your single action, identical. Very nice single action triggers. Very light, very easy to manipulate. So again, if you are looking for a gun that's easy to shoot, I would totally recommend both of these. Some might say, well, it's a double action, single action. How easy can it be? Well, honestly, guys, the P01 was the first gun I ever shot, and I think it's actually more advantageous to learn on a double single action firearm because you do get a little bit better discipline with your trigger finger and just shooting the gun. But again, that's just my opinion. Other than that, guns are great. Love these guns. If you guys are interested in CZs and you just don't know if you should get one, I would totally recommend them. They're great, fantastic firearms, and you will not regret buying one of these. So I hope you guys have a great night. As always, freedom is never free.